How do you stand out in a new industry making the shift? What tips do you have? Sure. So anytime you want to switch to a new industry, new type of job, everyone wants to understand your reasons why. Like, what is your intrinsic motivation? That's just a really fancy psychological term for what is going to get you up out of bed every day to go do this job. And that is very important, because when you're coming into a new industry, the first thing they're like, well, what if you get in here and hate it? You know, what would be the point of training you? Why would we give you a shot if you get in here and you're like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was, and you walk out the door? So you've got to be able to validate for them that that's not going to happen. And the only way to do that is to talk about your intrinsic motivation. What is the driver for you to want to get into this industry? And I'm going to give you a great story of a client of mine to help you understand. I had a guy come to me. He was a manager of a paint store. He went through like a management training program and everything, and he was the manager of a pretty decent sized paint store. And he comes to me and says, I want to become a financial planner. Totally different field. And I went, wow, can you tell me why? I mean, like anybody, I don't see it. Like, what is the connection here? Okay. And he said, yeah. He said, a year ago, my dad unexpectedly died. He owned a company. We thought everything was fine, but we came to find out he was in financial ruin, and he had left my mom in financial ruin. Going to lose the business. She was going to lose the house that she'd been in. She had already just lost her husband of 20 plus years. It was horrible. He said, so I spent nights and weekends getting in there, figuring out the finances, figuring out the business, was able to turn things around and sell the business and make sure my mom had enough money to keep the house and had something to live on. And he said, I never want to see another person go through that. I want to become a financial planner because if I can help one person not have that happen to them, that's important to me after what I've been through and what I've seen, what it's done to our family. Now that, my friends, is some intrinsic motivation. Of course, we helped him create a bucket list of 5 companies. He got interviews with all 5 just based on that story. No resume. We taught him how to write something called the disruptive cover letter, which is not a cover letter. It's how to tell that story. There's a very special framework we teach you how to do to get someone a hello with your story. He sent out his story. He got interviews with all 5. He got offers from 3, and he went to work for his number 1 pick. That's how you get into a new industry, because you don't have the experience. So you've got to close the gap, which is how can we take a chance on you? What can you tell us that will guarantee we know you've got the grit to stay in it? And the stronger your connection story, the more opportunities you're going to get. Yeah, it's really, really important to have that. So I will tell you, the disruptive cover letter is the secret sauce. I have been teaching that for over a decade.